Senku fam, welcome to the stream. You're just in time for Anime Club. On this week of Anime Club, we are going to be doing manga versus anime, which is our first ever manga versus anime kind of thing. I'm trying this out. But what we're going to be talking about today is My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 25, which is the season finale for Season 4, versus Chapters 189 to 190, which is basically the last 11 minutes of the Episode 25. We're going to be comparing the manga to the anime to see who gave the better entertainment experience. I will start off by saying most of the time I think the My Hero manga and anime are pretty on par. Typically not one is better than the other per se. They both have kind of their unique differences. I mean, the anime does get an advantage in that it can use music and voice acting and all sorts of stuff to really propel what was put in the manga, but the manga also gets to have beautiful detailed art or really cool line art or the original pacing, stuff like that that can sometimes make manga better. I think a good example is sometimes One Piece, the anime is significantly worse than the manga just because of how pacing is going, or scenes that are in the manga don't seem as arduous as they are in the anime because they draw it out. Or something like Demon Slayer, where the anime enhances the manga so much, you should probably just be an anime only fan for Demon Slayer. Stuff like that. So we're going to take kind of a look, kind of looking at what gives the best entertainment experience. And so what we're going to do is going to start off with chapter 189 and just kind of take a look at the first few pages. And then we'll go watch I have 3 clips basically that will kind of highlight the anime. And then we'll kind of compare that with the manga panels and stuff like that. So I don't know how well this is going to go, but we're going to try. If you haven't seen My Hero up to season 4, episode 25, or to chapters 189 to 190, and you care about spoilers, don't watch. But if you don't really care, then that's fine. I'm really just going to be spoiling basically the Endeavor versus High and Nomo fight, because that's what these cover. So we kind of start off, Hawks is dealing with the like crappier Nomu, and then the high-end Nomu, which is this dude, he has defeated Endeavor pretty much, or at least he thinks he has, and he's looking for stronger heroes to fight, which is starting to make everyone panic because they saw Endeavor go down. And they're kind of referencing the event where All Might fought All for One. So you get this kind of like newscasting, just bubbles up here talking about it. The heroes are on the scene, are either engaged in combat or assisting with the evacuation. But Endeavor, who was the first to act, and now he's down. But Endeavor comes back. He's coming back, even though he's pretty much got 360 no scoped in the last chapter and has this nasty eye wound. He's still fighting against the high-end Nomu, but he gets fucking slammed into a skyscraper, and then the Nomu's like, I need stronger things. And then you start getting reactions from his family. What's he thinking? If he can't fight it, he should retreat and wait for backup. He knows better than anyone that he'll never be the next All Might. That's why he gave up so quickly and basically went insane, and driving mom to the breaking point, abandoning the kids that he didn't care for, and gave up and run. Natsu blames his dad for ruining his family because he's an abusive father, which Endeavor is. That's why Endeavor, in my opinion, is probably one of the most interesting characters in My Hero, if not one of the best characters, because he is so conflicted. And I think that is going to really be the crux of my argument here, for which I think is better. But his sister tells him he never gave up. In fact, he's the worst at giving up. And then the high-end Nomu is coming down, and he's going to go eat all the humans, basically, or kill them all. And then you can kind of see down here the crowd is panicking, children are crying, this news anchor is like, without a symbol, the society without a symbol of peace, it's falling apart. Obviously, this is after All Might's retirement, basically, when he fully loses All for One, or One for All, and gives it over to Deku. Todoroki has already seen the news, so he already knows. And then little Natsu from Fairy Tail lookalike is like, don't give up on Endeavor. Those flames are still rising high. You see them? Endeavor's still alive and fighting. So don't give up just because the other guy is gone. There's still a dude out here risking it all for us. Can't you see? And then the fight kind of continues. And so that's as far as enough as we need to kind of catch up to kind of compare that with the first clip that I have. And load up this first clip. So one thing that's a kind of a huge difference right here. Let's watch it a little bit longer. So right now it's pretty much similar. Obviously the anime gets to add a lot more frames here. One thing that's really cool here is he's about to do the scream that we saw in the manga panel. I just really like how he kind of screams that. And here's Natsu's speech. One thing that the anime gets to do that the manga just probably doesn't have space for is they get to use these flashbacks, which I think really adds a lot of emotional weight to this kind of this moment. You can kind of do quick flashbacks to All Might's fight. You can do quick flashbacks to like kind of remind you of what's going on, right? Like this is a really powerful moment of Todoroki's mom totally losing it. And so you get to kind of get reminded and refreshed a little bit here. I think it adds a lot of emotion to it. This is one of the best scenes that's not in the manga. And I can actually show that. That scene where the Nomu looks is this panel right here. That's the same one. But what's really cool about what the anime did is they really took a look at that terrifying face to like what a normal human. And I love that kind of how they enhanced it. This guy looking over his shoulder to see this, that's awesome. And then it sets in the panic. And like you get to see, and they go panel by panel for this, like that little kid crying is right here. I can zoom in on this, right? Because this is kind of where we're going, right? They really enhanced this. You get to see that the panic in everyone, and then like you really get to see this a lot more in detail in the anime, and I think that's really great because like they could have just made this. It could have been a nothing, but I think this is like a significant improvement. Just kind of like this, how the anime really gets to translate this fight. Um, I love this kid's speech in the anime a lot more too. So in the manga, it's fine, right? Like the anime really takes these panels and gives them life. Like, right, when the reporter is saying without a symbol in the anime, I mean, everyone else is blurry. They're really focused in on her, and her voice just is like so scared and so just weak. You know, she's putting on this broadcast, but all you can hear is the fear in her voice. And I think that translates super well in the anime. I mean, she could have not sounded that great, right? They could have gone a lot. Now this is not straight up not unzooming, but you know, they could have made her sound not as scared like that, and they really went with it, and it's really good. Um, and then you get to, you know, you cut back to Todoroki's reactions, which is pretty much similar in the anime. But what they really do, which I really like how they do the camera work for his speech. When this kid, the voice acting for this kid, is amazing, right? His screaming, his desperation to tell people what's going on. But what's really, really cool here is that I really like how they do the shaky cam kind of with the news broadcast. Yeah, like this news kid, he's like looking over here, and then he like kind of trying to find the kid, and like it makes it all seem more chaotic and more natural. I think this is really kind of a cool detail that the anime fleshed out. It really makes it seem like a real like news broadcast, right? Which obviously the manga probably can't do, right? And that's not like a dig at the manga. It's just something that the anime kind of like, I think, really enhanced. And then, you know, the anime and like, can you hear how the music changes? I'll up the volume here. There's no music. It's just screaming in the background. His speech goes on. All of it's just screaming and desperation and chaos. Oh, here the music is coming back. Music's kind of slowly crescendoing. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's still crescendo. It's getting there. The tension is here. The music is leading it in. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, one thing I want to point out here too. This is pretty much the similar. Look how good like they translated this face over in the anime. Like this pan. Oh wait, I'm not on the manga. This panel can be really small, but they get to really zoom in on it and really get a lot of more detail in the anime, and they did a really good job with that. But like straight up the just the detail in like this, like translating this face so well in the manga is really good. Like, because this is one of the I love this panel in the manga, and they did a really good job here as well. Also, oh, dude, Endeavor's voice actor in Japanese is so good. It is incredible, and I can't remember the actor's name. Should probably look that up. But I watched this in dub as well, and I specifically want to show you guys the sub because I think it's really Endeavor's voice that just pushes the anime to as good as I think it is. Yeah. This I agree, main army. This anime, this scene, I remember the goosebumps are I'm already on it right here. Is how good I think this scene is. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to make sure I'm on the right part. Yeah. So this is going to be the second clip, but this is we want to show this. I'm going to read the manga first. What's really cool here, I really like this scene where Hawks' idol has been Endeavor, not All Might, which is kind of weird in the My Hero universe. They kind of make a point All Might is everyone's favorite, but there is a kind of a few people like the kid who's screaming here who Endeavor is their favorite hero. And Hawks has always admired Endeavor, even when he first starting out with the tank top, and then he kind of gets his suit. He's always been trying to build a bridge to the just immeasurable gap that All Might has in between being a hero. Endeavor's always been the only one taking it seriously to try and surpass him, even though it's so awkward. He says, how awkward can one guy be? Like the number one can't be this awkward. I'll push you forward to be number one, right? Like Hawks kind of admits that he can't be number one. His back is not strong enough to be number one. He needs someone else. And what an amazing panel here to have the wings. Hawks's wings have turned into fire wings here. And the anticipation, right, that's built up to this punch, as this is the ending of the manga, and then they hit you with the classic One Piece move of My Hero Academia will be off next week. How can you do that to someone, right? I binged this right when it was already out, but like, oh my goodness, ending it with that kind of tension right here, like you can see how the manga panels really can do that. And I think the anime does that really good. Obviously, the anime doesn't leave that cliffhanger here; it kind of continues, but it still is able to keep that action. And then we got to go to 190. We kind of get to take a look this Nomu's face right before he's about to get Falcon punched right in the face. Where are all the strong heroes is what he says. Endeavors, I wanted to be stronger than anyone. And then Hawks gives the line, seeing my back is not all that reassuring, right? It has to be Endeavor to be to take All Might's spot. Here comes the Falcon punch. Even the Nomu is like freaking out, right? He's about to go berserk because he's got to take this hit right to the face, and he just punches him right in the face, and you get this really sweet fist shot here. And I think that leads us into our second clip. Yeah, stop seeking life, capture, go beyond. He does this. This is actually not really highlighted really well in the manga, which I don't blame them because it's hard to highlight this in the manga. But like the speed lines here, just like how fast they're going, how crazy of an air fight it is, like they really get to flesh that out here in the anime. Hawks coming in from behind to help with the assist. But I think this is... It's when Hawks starts giving a speech that's really important here in the anime. God, I love the soundtrack for My Hero. I love this being anime. Like, that transition is so cool. And they do it in the manga as well, but I think the anime does this really well with like him kneeling down as he's changing, building this shitty little bridge. And I think this is the most powerful, is you get to see Hawks walking towards Endeavor, trying to push him forward. It's just something that didn't get the time in the manga. Just because of the panels. Actually, we have to go back to 189. Right, like it's just kind of this small panel, even though I'm covering it, right, where you see Hawks, Kid Hawks and Little Hawks just kind of looking at his back. But the anime did a great job of translating that into Hawks looks at the back, says how awkward can you get? No, it's this part. Look at he starts to get a little faster, starts to grow up, still trying, he wants to go push Endeavor forward, right? It's such a great narrative translation here for the anime. Oh, he's getting pushed forward with the feathers. Oh, look at the wings get to flap like that in the anime. Oh, it's so good. Look at this punch. Oh, you just get goosebumps with the soundtrack and the animation for that fire up punch. Hawks narratively is still looking at the back of Endeavor. Oh, Falcon! Punch! They cut the music there. Oh, because it didn't work, right? The music stops. The crescendo has ended. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps right now. They cut the music because it wasn't enough, right? Even though they were crescendoing it up like that. And it cut the music. It's not enough. Endeavor's realizing it. The Nomu's going berserk, right? Like there's so much tension and build up, and it ends, and it just like your heart drops because the music has ended. You're realizing this isn't it. The punch wasn't enough. Unlike with All Might, you always see the punch is the final. It's the end. It wasn't enough. It's so powerful in the anime, with the combination of the music and the voice acting and just the movement of the animation. It's just so good. They really take this tension right here, and they build it up, and like having the wings flap like that. Oh, they do such a good job with that. Right, because this feels so good. You think, oh man, this is going to be the end of the high-end Nomu, and you're wrong. It's not. And the anime does such a good job with the music and the pacing to like really translate that scene from the manga. So we're gonna kind of finish out the manga here. We're gonna finish chapter 190, and then we're gonna kind of see the ending of episode 25, and we'll compare it there. The manga is very good, but the anime is prepared. Yeah, nothing. I specifically think this fight in the manga was forgettable, and it's really the ending part that we'll see. But I remember reading this fight, and it's only 5 chapters long. This fight only lasts from 185 to 190, right? But it's 2 episodes in the anime, and it's the season finale, right? So they really took their time to really flesh this fight out, because I forgot about this fight when I read the manga. And then when season 4 came out, I was like, where are they going to end it? I was like, is it the Haya Nomu fight, really? Because this fight isn't as amazing as the All Might versus All For One, which didn't happen very much long. It hasn't been very long in the manga since you've read that, right? Which that fight in the manga is stellar, and in the anime is also stellar. But I think this fight in particular is forgettable in the manga. It's so quick, and you'll kind of see my main reason for why I think it's a little bit more forgettable. Here he starts with Endeavor starts with his Nomo, you bioengineered freak, created to possess multiple quirks, obsessed with strength. And what's so narratively powerful about this is that, created to possess multiple quirks, obsessed with strength, right? Who is he talking about? He's talking about Todoroki, right? It's a pure reference with like kind of referencing himself and what he did to his kids, right? Because you'll notice the next page after he says that, it's all of his children, right? The emotional drama for this fight is really, really interesting. Because this is more than just this high-end Nomu coming to fight. There's more of an emotional weight. It's Endeavor's, like, his transition to becoming number 1. Endeavor has to go up higher. He has to get away. And here's the big moment. I get it. Hawks is like, oh, he doesn't have to hold back up there. Now, this is where I think this panel is specifically where this manga is much weaker than the anime. Notice how small this is. In fact, I even have to zoom it further to just see this. You're me, my past or a future that might have been. Now burn and fade away. This is mostly dialogue. You can barely see anything here. And it's a zoom in on the Nomu right here. You do get this wonderful shot of I've always hated that stupid school model plus Ultra, and he does the prominence burn. This panel is fabulous, and so is this one. But I think this is kind of the crux of my argument. I think this is why it's kind of forgettable, as in it's easy to miss what I think is the most important part, which is these two panels. Me, you or me, my past or a future that might have been, now burn and fade away. So let's watch this part in the anime and see how they did it. No, whoops. That's a bit of a spoiler, I guess, but I've already been saying it. Notice, no sound. Here it comes, the little piano. He's starting to power up. The music. Everyone's looking up to the sky. You really get, I love this pan up shot of like the camera's like down low. You see everyone's backs and you get to see the star that is happening. They're all feeling the heat and the wind. And I do love this. In the manga, this is just a blank TV. Here you get to kind of really see Todoroki. Like you get to see what Todoroki's saying really well. I think that's really powerful. I don't think the manga could really have done this very well, but I think this is really well done in the anime. You really get to feel the emotion between the Todoroki household families. They're all worried, which they've been abused by this man. Future paper here, we got copyrighted on this one, so you can watch Daddy Toho's version in the link to the description below to follow along, but I have to zoom in pretty far to get over that, so there you go. Right? But they're still worried about their father. Hawks is out of options, he's out of power. It's all up to Endeavor now. Moto. Music is still dramatic. Here it is. You are me. Yep. It's this right here. Oh, did you see that? Do you see the difference there? What is the difference between the manga and the anime here? The big difference is, and the anime could have easily have done this zoomed out shot, which they did a little bit, right? They did do this shot. But instead, when he's delivering this now burn and fade away, and when he's talking about my past and my future, it's not far away, is it? It's up in his face. It's up and personal. You get to see almost the relief Endeavor has of burning away his past or killing the future, the monster that he might have become or already is. You really get to see him close his eyes, be put to rest right before he powers up. It makes this fight, the goosebumps are standing again in combination with the music. It is so much more powerful now because you get to see Endeavor's change. You get to really look, and it's only a few seconds, but I think it really sets the fight apart because you get to see him put himself to rest, which is kind of the symbolism for this entire fight. That is what is so cool about what the anime did for this fight. The relief he has on his face and be put to rest. And then it goes in, it's time to power up and put this to an end. Also, the voice acting for this right here, the scream. Oh. Listen to that prominence burn. Oh. The music goes into this weird wave. Everyone's shocked. Everyone's hair is standing on it. Did Endeavor die? Like, was that enough? He's not like his son. He can overheat. Cars flying. Look how much pain that must have caused. Oh, music's still low. Still that weird synth. Ba-ba! Endeavor's fighting. Fist up like All Mights. Yeah! Oh, getting goosebumps from this fight. Get to see Todoroki. The relief, which is also in the manga. Oh, the voice, but it's, oh, they just, I am shocked because there's some fights out there from in anime that just doesn't take the care that the team did for My Hero in this one. I mean, they really took this fight and they fleshed it out, and they fleshed it out in the correct ways. And I really think it, because they focused on just Endeavor being the hero, the way they do the shots, the way they have the camera tilted down so that you're as an audience member are looking as the crowd is looking up at his back, how they have the camera for Hawks. You know, the whole point is us learning that Endeavor is now number one. We have to look at his back because he is our hero now. But, you know, as a reader, you know, Endeavor is almost just as big of a monster as this Nomu is. He was so abusive to his family. And that's why this is so important. Oh. He puts a... Oh, that face. Oh, it's so good. And it's such a small change, but it's such an important change. Oh. Oh, you just can't get better than that prominence burn. Oh. And the zoom in on the burning up. Oh. Everyone's face. The freeze. Todoroki's hair standing up. Oh, it's so good. And that's what makes this fight so much better. I did not mean to get out of there. And that's just what makes the fight much more memorable and much more interesting. Yeah, I think when I originally read the manga, this was not enough for me to forgive Endeavor. But when I watched the anime, Endeavor's my boy, right? Yeah, you know, he may have abused his family, but he gets the payback, right? And what's also narratively great, where is the scar that he gets? It's in the same place that Todoroki got his, right? I guess I said Shoto because he's also Todoroki, but you get the point, right? Like, there's so much symbolism in this fight, and the anime did such a great job translating this from the manga that I think the anime really pushed it over the edge and made this so great. It's Family of Zuko's. I mean, it's basically Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender, but imagine fleshed out. Yeah, and then the next page is kind of where in the anime, the rest of season 4 kind of ends, and it focuses on Deku, who is the least interesting part about the anime. But Endeavor and the whole Todoroki family is by far I think what really sets it apart. So for our first anime versus manga, the anime wins. Anime 1, manga 0. I'm gonna try and do some more of these in the future, but we'll see. You know, this is something I've wanted to talk about for a while. And I can't believe how good the ending to season 4 was. Because sometimes you don't get that. I mean, sometimes fights don't get translated that well. But the goosebumps I get from the music composition, the way they cut the music in and out, the way they crescendo, cut, and then just the final, oh, it's so good. I think they really did a good job focusing on Endeavor, and his struggle to get over his past self and killing his future self. And I think they translated it so well from the manga that the anime is actually just better.